Looking at the security and privacy issues, like all of these services, Zoom does collect and store a fair amount of personal information. Their terms are getting more clear about how they use and share that. They updated their terms, I think most recently on March 29th, and that's actually the third time they've updated their terms since February. They had one update on February 23rd, another one that went live on March 18th, and a final one that went live on the 29th. And I know those dates because I have been actually reading their terms pretty detailed during that time. Zoom also has a fair amount of web-based settings to adjust controls if you have a Zoom account or a host. At this point, I strongly recommend fine-tuning your settings. Alan has put some of those details in the chat, because the default settings in Zoom will leave your meeting susceptible to Zoom bombing. You will need to tighten it up and set things like not allowing, like only allowing the host to share your screen and requiring a password for meetings and using a waiting room. Those settings combined with locking your meeting after it starts will help protect you significantly against the risk of having your meeting get crashed by somebody who wasn't invited. Another security issue is the alerts when you're being recorded could be a whole lot more clear. If you join a meeting it's recorded and the recording's already in progress, you generally don't get much or any notification of that aside from the blinking light. That's unfortunately pretty standard for most of these video conferencing systems. So if you are ever in doubt if you're being recorded, ask your host.